ต่อไปตัวที่กูอยากเจอละฮัลโหลตัวน่ะนึกกูมองแล้วไปหัวเจ๋งมัวยาถอนนึกปีเกิดนึกกูเกิดยัดตัวหัวกู University of Wisconsin Madison เกี่ยวถอนนึกเกิดทั้งที่อินเดียนึกกูเกิดในได้ Bachelor ยัดตัว Microbiology ยังเกิดจะเกี่ยวกับยี่ป้อจะที่ก็มอหลายแต่ไม่ไออยู่ข้อมูลชิปอแต่ชิก็จู่มั่วจะขึ้นยาเราหมดซองก็ที่ปอดเลยเจ้าขณะเราพูดถึง microbiology เนาะจีดีเซ่เนี่ยกูเกิดข้อไม่จีเทียข้อไม่เนี่ยกูเกิดจะในนี้เราตัวชัดที่ยุโรปเดินรุ่นนึงจีเนี่ยกูเกิดที่ในได้ Bachelor เราถอดรุ่นจีดีตัวอาเซียนกูโตเดอต่อการเนี่ยกูหาเจ็ดสี่มันเกิดได้โตเทียในที่ได้มีมาเรียกเขามาเกิดยัดตัวรู้ว่า Emory University ยัดตัว Atlanta Georgia เด้อจีนี่เขามาเกิดตัวรู้ Rollins School of Public Health ในที่ได้เกิดเรียนได้ Master's Degree of Public Health เรามาต้องการจะเกี่ยวกับต้องไปเต้นเด้อตัวถอดรู้ชีวิตดูชาวนั่งก่อนเดี๋ยวจงเชื่อตัวเดี๋ยวเจ้ามัวก็กูชี้ก็กดเดียวยังเป็นสัตว์น้อยใช่ก็วันนี้จีก็หาถักให้เราไปเที่ยวทำไปเชื่อว่าได้ใจต่อเจ้ามัวยา
Hello, okay. Nhớ cho nên sẽ đến số tu, và cho nên có còn đây nữa nào. Hùa Chenmua của tụi nhau tại Atlanta, Georgia. Thì tại sao nó vừa hơn đến Centers for Disease or Control and Prevention or CDC. Của tụi cái tia của đại Master of Public Health in Global Epidemiology. And ta sẽ do MC thì hai tia cho mình ở chỗ tại hai lưu mong để sĩ tháo ra sĩ đó vì của mua của cho lưu hai ở lưu ăn kỹ. Giờ cứ hai lưu mong chơi của chỉ lá xanh đi. Thế bây giờ chỉ đậu món nó. Giờ lên đấy của hai ở lưu ăn kỹ có tê. Thế lưu mua sĩ hết đâu sẽ để lo hai. Okay. So my dad asked me to say a few things about how I got to where I am today. But because it's his retirement, I believe it would be incomplete to not include him in my speech. So when I reflect on my journey and the lessons learned from my father, it all goes back to the game of soccer. If anyone knows my dad, you would know that he loves playing soccer, he loves watching soccer, recording soccer games on TV, and I'm sure he even dreams of soccer when he sleeps. When we were younger, he would take us to the park to go and play and kick around a soccer ball. Who would have thought that all these years later, whether my dad intended to or not, the lessons learned in soccer would continue to reappear throughout my life and shape me to become the person who is standing in front of you today. One of the first things you learn about soccer is that you win by scoring goals. Scoring a goal is always fun, but it's a lot harder to achieve. You can watch a soccer match and the final score is 1-0 or just 0-0. But what they don't mention is all the planning, the running, the behind the scenes, the practice that it takes to score. You can be the fastest, strongest, smartest player, but you only get a chance to score because even when you do everything right in soccer, nothing is guaranteed. Similarly, I've learned the importance of setting goals for myself and always being willing to put into hard work behind the scenes. Whether people can see it or not, I know that working to fulfill my dreams and doing all that I could to achieve it is one of the greatest feelings already in the world. I've always known that my future would involve public service and public health. It was definitely a difficult choice to decide on a career and goal in life that does not come with as many lucrative benefits or money. But when I was younger, I also grew up without these benefits, and now I acknowledge that I have a chance to pay it forward. So after college, I was motivated to join 2 public service programs, AmeriCorps and Peace Corps, both of which I was able to work with communities and local people to improve the health and well-being of those who live there. And one of those programs was actually in California, where I lived with my sister Lychee, who is here today as well, and her husband, Yayifu. They probably were the only ones who saw all the long days when I rode my bike in San Francisco over those big hills. the late hours returning home to make sure that every student and every person I worked with made it home safely. And they probably saw how early I had to wake up to catch the train to go into the city. These were all part of a hurdle which actually motivated me to continue to dig deeper towards my goal and work in the public health sector where I could use my skills and knowledge to contribute to my community. Another lesson that I have been fortunate to learn from soccer, which I hope my dad knows as well, is that it's okay to slow down. This has allowed me to reflect, enjoy the moment, and appreciate the important things in life, like being here today with all of you. Oftentimes when you play soccer, you can see people running at full speed, as fast as they can, just for them to be tired in the second half, missing all the opportunities around them. However, the experienced players, like my dad, know when to run fast and when to slow down. That way they can observe everything happening around them on the field. When I was younger, it always felt like I was running after the ball, chasing after the next thing, often missing the moments that I could never get back. Fortunately, I had the opportunity to spend 2 years in West Africa, as mentioned earlier, where I worked in Togo with the people to find ways to improve the health and vaccination rates of the people there to help protect them from diseases. I'm very thankful for the lessons learned in Togo because they reminded me that even though we could not reach every child in one day with all the medicine and vaccinations, that ensuring we catch up on those who have missed it is already considered a success. My experience in West Africa definitely taught me the importance of taking my time, slowing down, and making sure the work reaches the right people and that it's done the right way. Whenever I had difficulties during graduate schools, and there were many, I remembered this importance of slowing down and reflecting on the bigger picture for why I even chose this path in the first place. The final lesson that I learned from soccer is to focus on what you can control. My dad always emphasized that when you play soccer, you have to know how to control the ball. You have to be able to trap it well. If you can control the ball and make sure it goes where it needs to go at the right time, success will follow. As we all know, I decided to pursue a field in public health. I've been saying that. But more specifically, I wanted to work in a field to improve the health of minorities and refugees, because that's where my dad has come from and all of us here today. So it's hard not to separate my life and career, of course, from the COVID-19 pandemic, as we all know. I started and finished school during the pandemic, and as much as I wish I could have had a normal graduate school or a normal life during these last couple of years, I've accepted that some things in life are just out of my control. All of us have been impacted directly and indirectly in many ways from the pandemic. But I learned that I cannot continue to dwell on things that I can't control, because it stops you from moving forward. It stops you from becoming the better version of you tomorrow. What I do know is that I still can control certain aspects of my life and choose to make a positive impact wherever I can. I have chosen to follow a path of which I am passionate about, because working to better the health and lives of others will always be something that I will actively choose to do. It's kind of interesting how the game of soccer has impacted me throughout my life, as well as my father's. I am grateful to my dad for introducing the game of soccer to me and teaching me all the hard lessons, because these lessons will stay with me. And I hope my dad continues to learn from them as we both move forward in this next chapter of our lives. So with all that said, thank you again to everyone here for your support and guidance. There are many people who are not in this room who I also need to thank, such as some of my siblings and my mom. And sometimes it is difficult to realize how far I have come, the successes achieved, the people I've been able to meet, the path I've been able to travel, and of course the failures that I have experienced. However, I would not be standing here today without my mom and dad. More specifically, I would not be here today without all of the life lessons that you both have taught me. So congratulations again to Chalte and Surya on graduating, and for my dad, on retiring at such a young age and with a full head of hair. You inspire me when I retire to look like you. Thank you.
Rồi hiện đầu tu Chenmua ya, ổn định là mất tới cái lối dòng kia cho cái cỡ. Còn nói thì cũng hết sai mấy đâu cho nên cái gì ở đây giờ chỉ có luận kỹ. Nếu có thể là họ nếu cái gì tôi sẽ cần đó để giấy họ nếu bỏ được cái gì thì cái gì giấy tôi nhẹ cho bạn hàng thế. Ôn số là nếu có cái cho bạn sai là cho bạn thằng nên đi làm nên sao nên tao thì cái cho bạn này chỉ họอยู่là tao lại giờ xứ thằng có bao nhiêu tao cho cái cho bạn là nếu cũng mà ít họ chỉ chính đượcอยู่thế xử lý thì các tao chỉ cho nên nếu một cái thì kinh cho bạn chẳng hạn mất sai thì các sao các cái tao dùng là các tao share sai cái nó là cái thì cái tao thế chẳng hạn như họ chỉ gì nếu bỏ thế ba này thì cái tao dùng thế chỉ ta sẽ khó theo nên cô thì yêu tao cái tiền của họ gửi đó ba lựa tụi này là do lựa hai này thếแต่ถอนี่กูชี้ให้ใจเนี่ยจะซื้อได้ใช่ไหมอยู่มั้งอยู่ที่เชื่อมั้งเขาหรือได้ป้าตัวหรือตัวคนนี้เขาจ้องเอาคนที่เป็นเดี๋ยวจ้องอยากได้กินจำปังก็ตัวเฉยเจ้าลูกบางเขาจ้องชื่อลูกบางก็ที่นี่ตัวตัวลูกบางก็นอเทียจะยังไงนะหนึ่งวันที่รักษาเดี๋ยวก็ตัวชื่อก็ตัวแข็งชื่อที่อยากอุ้งเราก็อ้วนเดี๋ยวก็ที่นี่อ้วนตัวเขาก็สาตัวมาเทียจะอยากให้เขาจ้องเดี๋ยวในจีกูอยากตัวเนี่ยจำปังถอดรัวchỉ nên sai nên gì nên cũng cần tôi cho chú ý cho nó cho là ba nên cần tôi cần nên thì cần tiền thì chỉ họ nên họ làm việc khi nó bây giờ cái tiền nên cũng bỏ nên gì ôi họ có trong thì để thì ba nên cần tiền chỉ trong xem đâu từ Chenmua nữa